So while we're here, the M5's wiper blade's gone. Don't know what's wrong with it. There's man like Matthew and Martin.
Hi.
Yeah, so it's been about 2 months of this sat here not running because we couldn't get the f***ing part for it, which is on that passenger seat now. Let me open the door. Oh, it's not opening. We'll do it later. I'll do it and show you in a second. Basically, crank pulley broke on it and had to be recovered here about November. It's now February and it's just been sat here looking sorry for itself. So got the parts now. Took ages from Mercedes.
Unbelievable. 2.5 months.
But we've got it now. So let's get it back up and running, back to use. Fingers crossed, yeah. Keys here, but the other side's open.
When do you want to do this?
Come on, what are you doing?
Is it a problem?
Yes. It's a gear linkage inside, looks like come off.
Oh, it's hoping it's going to be something easy.
So we have to remove the whole plastics there to get the access to the linkage.
I was hoping it was going to be something easy.
Let me know when, and we can do it.
Do it now?
Yes, all of them be easy. And we need to find out where is the problem.
It's like a Christmas now. After 2.5 months.
It's not even expensive, but, well, not that expensive. 50 quid? No, 250 quid, but it's just this one part. Did you do anything else? Is that it?
Yeah, I had a little pin as well.
You got the pin? Leave it up, because otherwise the other one.
It's not raining now.
No, but it's a pain in the ass. So it just sits like that. We'll do the Hummer as well.
You doing now the Bollywood?
YouTube.
Okay.
I've just noticed some lacquer peel on the M5 bumper. It's a bit annoying. Have to get that painted now as well. It's annoying. So it's Maybach I bought from a friend of mine, Afzal Khan, which everyone probably knows of Khan Automobiles or Project Khan or Chelsea Tractor Company. Chelsea Truck Co. or whatever, Chelsea Tractor Company. Yeah, so that plate on there is actually his one CEO. It's not my plate. I think he's still got it for sale, but I've just used it temporarily while I've had it. But I'm changing the plate as soon as it's back on the road, really. Just waiting for it to work again. It's been a pain in the ass trying to get the parts for it and to get it to work. Basically, it was what happened. We was actually up in Coventry at the time. We went to collect a car. It's November time, and going around a roundabout, and I just lost all power steering, so I was going straight around a roundabout. It was a pain in the ass, really. Obviously, this without power steering, you can't really even use it at all. And couldn't work out what was wrong with it. Obviously, pulled up, opened the bonnet, and see the belt snapped. So called the AA and got it recovered back. And been trying to sort out why the belt hadn't actually snapped. It had just come off. The reason it had come off is because that crank pulley that we just bought the replacement for had snapped off for whatever reason. Some sort of locating pin, I think, had disintegrated. So I'm not sure, but that was the reason. And replacing the parts that had broken seemed impossible for the last couple of months. Thankfully, friends at MSL, Sarim, sorted it out, and he managed to get the part ordered in from Germany into Brooklands. For some reason they wouldn't deliver, so we had to go collect the part from Brooklands in Surrey, which is not too far away, but it's still a bit of a ball ache, but better than a car not running. So yeah, everything's here together now, so hopefully in the next clip of this video you'll see it working again. Kind of miss it, enjoy using it for just running up and down the country or wherever I need to go. Long distance is comfortable, especially if you get somebody else to drive. I was at one point, it's probably September time, I was dailying it, but about a month or so, 6 weeks maybe. I was driving it every day. Brilliant car. Just like driving a big old Mac, but obviously with a different road presence, I suppose. It's just, I don't know, I like it, it's cool. I've got a kind of an attachment to it from old like rap videos and stuff. Everyone, Rick Ross, you know, Jay-Z, everybody had Maybachs. It was kind of a cool thing back in the 2000s when they were new. Obviously this car was something like 450 grand brand new. Now it's just sat here broken, but probably worth about 50ish, I suppose, now. But nobody really wants them too much at the moment. I think they will come back. I think they will be desirable once again, because they don't make them anymore. And they only made them for 5-6 years. They had a big following when they were new. Obviously they haven't aged the best. They just look like big old S-classes, but for me, I still love them. I think brilliant cars. This is a 62 as well, so it's the longer, 6.2 meters in total, which is huge. And the back is massive. It's got actually the 6.2S grille, or the 62S grille, and the 62S wheels, which are basically facelift. So it's a 2005 model, but it looks like a 2010 model, basically. It's all black inside. It's a real clean car actually when it's working. As you can see, it just looks like a 2000s Mac inside. Can't see into the back right now. And back to this broken thing.
Hello Nick, how are you?
See Martin. Has he
How's
fixed
it
the
going?
car yet?
Of course. This
Fixed.
is the best garage in Southampton.
All done now? 2.5 months later, we're there. Working. What's that? You what?
I had a star computer for the Merc,
Yeah.
but let me try diagnose what's going on with the faults from
Yeah.
the car. But I couldn't find the proper connections for that.
Okay.
My laptop don't have that something.
I'll come in Monday, Tuesday and come pick it up then.
Monday, please, Monday, kurwa, Monday. Monday, I don't want to see this car anymore.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be in Southampton Monday, so if I'm not, then Tuesday. Yeah.
Okie dokie. I had a really big luck with this car.
Yeah.
There's a 2 wheels. One wheel inside is
Yeah.
for the timing chain, and that pin, the locking pin, is working on the both wheels. You've got one wheel, another wheel, and that pin locking both.
Okay.
That pin was stacked.
Yeah.
If they gone completely,
Yeah.
your engine will be.
So lucky.
Yeah, because they damage, all of the timing
What
chain.
caused it to happen? Why did it happen in the first
Fuck
place?
knows. Seriously, fuck knows. Everything works like should now.
Yeah. Because I wasn't driving it hard or anything then.
No. I don't understand that situation. There's all of wheels we're checking the like for the compressor, for all of pulleys.
Yeah. Good.
Yesterday that light is gone as well for the charger. Maybe we charge the battery, connect the computer, and all of faults is gone.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, I'll see you next week. Okay guys, so as you can probably see, the Maybach's back and it's fixed. It's been what? 2.5 months off the road. Not for the repair, the actual repair took a couple days. Probably probably only a few hours, to be fair. They had to strip a little bit off the front to get to it. Basically, it was a crank pulley, somehow had snapped off. But getting a new one from Mercedes, no Mercedes dealer in this country knows what the hell is going on. The only dealer here that do know a little bit about Maybach is Brooklands, because that is their Maybach Centre of Excellence or whatever they call it. And even those guys couldn't get the part for some reason. Thankfully, Sarim at MSL managed to source a part for me, which somehow then came through Brooklands. So he sourced the part, still had to get it from Brooklands, but he managed to get it to Brooklands because nobody at Brooklands or any other dealer in the country or anywhere could get me the part. Had the part number, everything, had the part number, chassis number, like usual with any repair that you need to get, and just couldn't get the part. So it's fixed now, we're all up and running. I'll show you around the car a little bit. I just changed the plate on it now, so it's got Sahota on it, which is I think for me arguably the best Sahota combination possible, and I'm really happy with it. Been after this plate for years, so was real happy to get that, and to get it on a Maybach is kind of special to me anyway. This is a 62, but it's got the 62S wheels and the 62S grille, which basically just is facelift. So it looks like a facelift, but it's not. Let's show you the back, because that's what everyone wants to see on a Maybach, isn't it? It's huge in here. It's like first class in an aeroplane or something. That's what it's supposed to be like, isn't it? Obviously, you hit the button up here, and the door closes. Eventually. And up here, you've got this big skylight thing that's controlled from here. Okay, so now we're in the back. Plenty of leg room. I'm 6'2", and I can do this in the back of a 62. That's how much space there is. Okay, so anyway, here are the buttons that open the roof. Well, they don't open it up, they just make it light, bring light in. It's like a big window. All this is all mahogany. You can't see it right now, but that's what it is. So that's, I think, the opaque setting. No, that's the opaque setting, and then that's the clear setting. It's a bit of a crap day outside, and obviously being 15 years old, it's kind of dulled, I suppose. I imagine that would have been crystal clear back in 2005. Anyway, and then you've got, what else you got here? You've got rear curtains. Might open those back up because it's a bit annoying when you're driving. I have to drive mine. And in the back here you've got tables. You can do some work on, I suppose. Get your laptop out, whatever. Never get much time to be in the back, so don't get to use it, but it's there. Then you've got a fridge. So you've got a bottle of water and Chewits in there at the moment. What else have you got here? You've got all sorts of mood lighting settings and all sorts of other crap. Yeah, and then because it's 62, you've got the clocks up here, which one of them is obviously the time. I'm not sure if that's correct. Yeah, it is correct. One's a speedo, so the owner knows what the driver's doing, I suppose. And then one's the outside temperature. And if we hit one of these buttons here, this one, this one, it brings out the legs. So it's nice and comfortable. And literally you could sleep here. It's so comfortable. All you got to do then is shut the roof and shut the blinds, and it's night night. Also back here you've got a few other things. I think it's just a big compartment. This is a DVD changer, I believe. This is some more Alpine DVD. I don't know what it is, but it's there. And this would have held the champagne glasses, which I haven't got. But there is a thing here, if I can manage to open it, that holds your champagne glasses in there, it grips them. Yeah, so that goes underneath as a drip tray, and you put your bottle through there, your wine glasses obviously on top. Not sure how much you'd ever use it. Here you've got a huge compartment that opens in 2 stages. It's massive. And then inside here is a bubble jet printer. A height of luxury in 2004. Yeah, so now you've seen the back. I'm gonna get in the front and show you what it drives like, really. Okay, so now we're in the front. You can see how far away the passengers and the rear passengers are. You can't hold a conversation with anybody in the back, not very easily anyway. It's so far away. But yeah, the inside of here, let's flip the camera around, is just like an old Mercedes, other than the Maybach badge. It is like an S-Class in here, other than obviously all the mahogany detailing and everything else. It's very similar. There's this fancy phone that pops out here. And goes back away in the same way. It's got a real comfortable seat. It's got massage seats which you can control from down here. Same with the back as well. Okay, so this is the 5.5 litre V12 twin turbo of the 62. I think the 57 had the same engine as well, and then when they went to the facelift 62S or 57S, they went to a 6 litre V12 twin turbo. Mercedes engine, I believe, from an S600 or maybe an AMG engine or something along those lines, but apparently none of the parts match. So when it was coming to finding parts for it, for that engine, it weren't Mercedes parts, it was Maybach only parts that nobody could get for me except for MSL. Once again, shout out to Sarim. Got a few settings here for electronic skid protection, which is basically ESP, which is your traction control. You've got comfort and sport setting for, I believe that's for the gearbox, it might be for steering as well. You've got ride height, so it goes up and down with the ride height, and then you've got 1, 2 settings for different sports settings on the suspension. Obviously because it's an older car you need to have an aux lead to run your phone off it. But yeah, you can control the blinds from here as well. So there go the blinds. The level of comfort in here is amazing. Even for the driver, it's so comfortable. Obviously I don't have a driver, so I'm the driver, and I love driving it. For long distance journeys, anything like that, you can drive it, get out at the end of it, and feel brand new. Like you can really enjoy the comfort of this car, even if you're not a passenger in the back. Everything is covered in leather, literally everything is covered in leather. The headlining is Alcantara, I believe, but literally if it's not covered in leather, it's covered in metal or mahogany. There's literally no crap plastics everywhere. It's really, really nice in here. And the presence this thing has on the road is ridiculous for a 15-year-old car. It's got some presence on the road. People actually like stop, like, wow. I think it's just, I think maybe my generation, everything back in the mid 2000s to the late 2000s was all about Maybachs. Rick Ross, Jay-Z, everybody in sort of hip hop, in popular culture was talking about Maybachs. Even still now, to this point, people still have this, wow, Maybach. And I think that's going to fuel a cult following, future classic sort of aspect to these cars, because it is really, really good. You drive it and you don't feel any bumps or humps or anything like that. It feels like you're floating on air. Even now, I don't think still now that there is a car that is so comfortable, especially for the back and everything else, because it was just built a completely uncompromising. They didn't compromise on anything when they built these cars. Now, I think the competition would be, if they still made these, they don't. Now all Maybach do is modify existing Mercedes models, whereas this was a completely Mercedes built vehicle for Maybach, and it shows. This car, I've got an invoice somewhere, was 450 grand new back in 2005. That is ridiculous. That's like probably like 700 grand in today's money. I haven't even done the maths on that, so don't quote me on it, but probably around that. And what else is there that rivals that sort of level of? And I think they actually lost money on them all. They didn't make money at all. They're a rare car. The only times you ever see them, really, central London, obviously chauffeur driven, that kind of stuff. Never really see them otherwise. And even now, owners of new Phantom 8s, Phantom 8 EWBs, you know, the extended wheelbase ones, still have a Maybach in the fleet because they've got enough money that they didn't need to ever get rid of them, I suppose. And they love them. Because there was never a replacement. After 2012, they stopped making Maybachs as this sort of as their own car. They just modified Mercedes from there on. There's no other replacement for it. So Maybach owners that loved Maybach, which were maybe few and far between, but I guess the people that wanted the Maybachs then, the people that owned the Maybachs, had distinguished tastes. They wanted that again, and it wasn't possible, so they just kept their Maybachs. So you see guys, you see the cars in London. I've only ever seen Maybachs in London. I haven't seen them anywhere else, really. I'd say probably a lot of the Maybachs that are still on the road are probably still with the original owners, because they just don't want to give them up because they can't replace them. But I think they've reached their bottom, and they can only really go up from here because they're so cheap. It's a lot of car for the money, and I can't see them losing money. Like, for example, the option for that roof headlining with the mahogany and the glass, and it changes from opaque to clear, is around the same price as what you can pick up this whole car for now, which is mad. So like, there's an option, one single option is value of the whole car now. I know it's been 15 years or whatever, but it's crazy for me. So let's go for a drive, and you can see what it drives. Daily drive in the big bus today, on the way to the gym right now, and then on to work afterwards. Right now I'm driving along a small bumpy little lane full of potholes and stuff, and this thing just glides straight over it. Don't feel anything. It's just so comfortable for a 15-year-old car. That's the maddest thing about it. 15 years later, it's still up there with the best. It's not slow either. It is, I think it's something like 600 horsepower, which is a lot in a Maybach. I've had it sideways before. When it goes sideways, it completely goes sideways, like a massive pendulum. It's pretty hard to keep it right, because obviously the balance is all out. It's not supposed to do that. You put your foot down in this thing, you can feel it. It is quick. I've for a big limo with long wheelbase luxury car, it does go some. But what else can I say about it, really? Normally a car of this age, you hear loads of rattles and knocks and bangs and all sorts going on. In here you can't hear anything, it's silent. It's raining right now, you can just about hear a wiper maybe. Not even that. Even that's pretty much silent. Everything on this car is just, I don't know how still 15 years later it's still this good. Yesterday took my family out, I had my mum in the back. She was reclined out, loving it. It's perfect for a long drive. It's just about comfort and luxury, I suppose, and it smashes that. So once again, thanks to Sarima MSO in Birmingham and Matthew and Martin in MLJ Garage here in Southampton. They've taken good care of her, and she's back to fighting fit. So thanks for watching, guys. Please, before you go, please click the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. Also, please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to comment your thoughts and what else you'd like to see in my channel. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.